Ian, this is breaking news in the past 3-4 days. You know, doing this weekly podcast now, there's some advantages to this.
Oh yeah, there definitely is.
You know, there's some advantage to this. 5 days ago from when we recorded this, a new Zelda game in the works, and it could be a follow-up to Breath of the Wild. This is coming from Monolith, who also contributed to Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. This is according to job listings on their website. So the people are thinking they're ramping up for this. And this isn't a shock, just because when you think about when Breath of the Wild went into development, this Breath of the Wild was in development as early as the demo of the Switch that I remember watching. Was it even like 2013? I remember playing something that looked like it, that they're developing for the Wii U. So I think it was even 2012. I remember seeing the demo of him fighting some sort of spider.
Yeah, but that wasn't Breath of the Wild. That was a different tech demo, I thought.
But either way, that's when they were working on a Zelda game leading up to it. And either way, I mean, the Wii U version, remember, this was going to be a Wii U release back in like 2016, Breath of the Wild, before they said, okay, we got to make sure that the Switch is a success. We're gonna shelve the Wii U version. So Breath of the Wild has been in.
Well, they didn't shelve it. I mean, it came out.
But I mean, shelve it until the Switch comes out.
Sure.
So Breath of the Wild really has been done for at this point 3 years at least. So when you think about them developing another Switch game, a Zelda game, it's a no-brainer because the Switch is going to be out for another 2-3 years easily.
Right.
You know, we're only 2 years into it, so this isn't a shock they're doing this.
No. And they will be able to use the Switch to its full capabilities here, because it'll only be for the Switch.
Yes.
There's been a couple times where Zelda games have bridged systems.
Oh, yes.
Like Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
So obviously the newer system gets
It'll be optimized.
Yeah, it's a little bit nicer, but this one will actually be made for the Switch, and it'll be interesting to see what it does. So Monolith Soft is behind the Xenoblade and the Xenosaga and Xenoblade series. They did a lot of, I guess, work with Nintendo to kind of bring the world of Breath of the Wild around. And they worked on other Nintendo games. So with them doing all this hiring, especially for the roles that they're looking for, artists and stuff like that, it makes sense. I mean, there's going to be another Zelda game. It wouldn't be weird for it to be ramping up now.
Sure. So I guess what people are going to postulate about is, will this be like open world, like Breath of the Wild? Will it be more maybe like a game where it's more linear, like do A, then do B, then do C, then do D? And I think they hit upon something with Breath of the Wild that I think we all, when we first heard open world Zelda game, we all just crapped our pants, like CM Punk in the ring. Like, this is a great idea. This is a no-brainer to do this. And now they pulled it off. The groundwork's all laid. Like, here's the good news, is that they're not starting from scratch with this game entirely. Right. They have like things like weather patterns figured out for the open world, and how animal AI is and things like that, how enemies stroll around and hang out,
like lightning and fire effect things. So
yeah, like they have all the hard work figured out from like 5-6 years ago already, putting this together. So when you think about a turnaround, if Breath of the Wild was probably like, you want to say a 5-year turnaround, something like that, probably like that 4 to 5 years, this probably wouldn't be as long. I can't picture it being as long. I'm not saying it's going to come out next year or even 2 years from now, but I don't picture the turnaround being as rough because of this, because of the groundwork laid. And even assets. If it's a similar art style, all right. I'm not saying we're going to reuse everything, but we don't have to redo every mountain.
Right.
Every stick and twig.
Yeah.
Every branch of a tree. Like, we're starting with something. And there's probably stuff that's in the vault that they haven't used, potentially. I mean, when you think about a Zelda game, you're going to have some common enemies show up, for sure.
Oh.
Unless this is taking place in another land far away, you're going to have Octoroks. You're going to have, you're going to have Moblins and things like that.
Right.
So it's encouraging. And I don't think people would complain if this was just literally Breath of the Wild, but in another land somewhere else. I don't think many people would have would argue. Obviously,
no, I don't think they would. But Nintendo, Nintendo's not. I don't see them phoning it in. The Zelda series usually always tries to do something different from a previous entry to a degree.
But once you get to the open world, how different do you want to go from there?
Well,
once you're there,
I think there's a good likelihood that
more
while
dungeons.
I was gonna say while shrines might still be in there, that there will be more dungeons. I don't know if they'll change the weapon durability system. Some people hate it. Some people just get used to it. Honestly, you're picking up so many weapons that it watching Vani play it, you know, the opportunities to pick up weapons are so frequent that it almost doesn't look like it's that big of a deal. And the thing that I do kind of like about it is it makes you screw around with all the different weapon types.
I just think that the durability, they could have made it a little more stronger, the weapons. There's some weapons where when I was in the heat of battle at one of the shrines against the, you know, one or two of those tank guys, and all of a sudden I got a pretty nice sword and it just fucking breaks, I'm screwed. Like, I'm just screwed.
Right.
I got to go back out and find another weapon to come back in. So that to me slows the game down, and I'm like, yeah. Other than that though, I mean, I probably played about 30 hours of Breath of the Wild. Are you shocked?
I am shocked. In multiple ways. One that you played
maybe 40 hours.
Ooh, whoa.
Well, I had I had a plane trip to Norway. It's like 10 hours.
Whoa. Well, I guess we're glad you had that plane trip because you never would have played it otherwise.
That's bullshit. I played it at home too.
Vani, I think, has like 400 fucking hours into that game. But she's 100%ing it. She's almost there.
All the DLC, everything.
That's all done. All she needs to do now is find like 200 more Korok seeds, and that's
200 more.
Yeah, out of 900.
Okay, Vani. I'm not gonna ask you to. You know, you don't have to do this, Vani. It's a lot of hours. You got through the game.
You know what? She buys like a game every year and gets the money out of it, and then I look at my stacks of games or your stacks of games and I go, hey, you know what, she's got the right idea.
Okay,
she's got the right idea.
She's enjoying it. Okay, that's fine, Vani.
Buy one you love and just play it to shit.
Play it until it burns out. The ROM just not ROM anymore, just dissipates.
So
on it.
Weird side note, I told you about how my dad started playing Skyrim a few years ago, right? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I play No Man's Sky with him now. And I went to go...
They had another update again, by the way. Didn't they have another one, too?
Oh, they just announced there's going to be a big one this summer.
Good for them.
With VR.
Good for them.
That might actually make me look into VR.
Oh, there's just... Actually, this morning, there's articles about it looking great in VR. You're going to get VR?
I would...
For No Man's Sky?
I would consider VR for No Man's Sky.
Oh, my God. I want to videotape you playing it with the VR headset on.
What was I going to say, though? Shit. Oh, just hours of playtime. My dad has like over 1,000 hours in Skyrim.
The Fergusons have a lot of time to play these games.
Well, my dad's
retired.
He's just about to retire.
All right, Mr. Ferguson. Yeah. Good for you. I mean, I'm shocked that. Well, the score is still 6 out of 10 on Steam for No Man's Sky. It seems like it should be a lot higher now that it's a totally different game.
But if you look at it, it's all like mostly positive recently.
Okay.
And they
bombed it at first.
They're fighting back from a particularly shitty, awful launch, and the negative reviews built up over 2 years.
That's true.
I mean, the game didn't.
Well, a year in, it was a different game. A year in.
Well, it was, but it was in very minor ways.
Gotcha.
No Man's Sky Next, which came out last summer, that's the big update. That's the one that really
put the bases in it.
Yeah, they rebooted it and all that. So.
All right. Okay. I'm still waiting for my Privateer 3 to be made. Hell, Star Citizen. So I know that's getting closer.
What do you want more? Privateer 3 or a new Unreal, or what are you looking for here?
Well, the Unreal Tournament's been started. You can go online and see people playing the beta. So just finish the fucking game. Just finish it. 6 months, you can probably finish the game. Put an assault mode in, and I'm fine. That's fine. Right now, you can play the beta. You can play, I think, you can play team deathmatch and deathmatch. Is it even capture the flag? Just fucking finish it. But Privateer 3 would be outstanding. With all the tech we have now, if it was No Man's Sky but Privateer 3, I would have played it 1,000 hours. Because that universe is so interesting with the Kilrathi and everything. That's very interesting to me. And the fact that Clive Owen was in the second one. So anyway, so, okay. What were we talking about? Oh,
we were talking about Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda. I'm sorry. So I'm going to predict, past prediction, you're going to see this come out at the tail end of the Switch in like 3 years. You're going to see it. That's what I'm going to think. Maybe a little sooner.
I'll say 2.
2021.
different.
2021.
2021.
I'm gonna be 41 fucking years old then.
2112.
I know.
Rush.
I'm gonna keep it looking sharp, but we'll see. Am I allowed to have this hair in my 40s? I think I'm allowed to.
Sure, why not?
And then I go spiky. I have my 40% life crisis, and I'm gonna be 100 years old. Probably like, well, my grandfather was 94, and he's passed away because Alzheimer's basically.
My shitty grandpa died at 69 because he was awful.
He treated himself badly.
Yeah, he treated himself and others poorly. But yeah.
Oh well, I'm sorry to hear that, Ian.
It's okay. Anyways, so hopefully I'll live.
My grandfather treated people pretty well. He drank wine every day, and then he rode his bike till he was like 80, so that probably helped. So he was healthy.
My grandpa on my mom's side was a stoic dude, but he was a good guy. He lived to be in, I think, his mid to late 80s, and he had like 13 heart attacks. I swear to God.
13.
I swear to God, he had like a baker's fucking dozen.
And he survived all of them.
Yep.
Little minor one, he's like, that's okay. Back to the sandwich.
Yeah. Ooh, all right.
All right, that's number 12.
And the thing was, he was thin. He was a tall, thin guy.
Well, some of it's genetics.
But he grew up in the 50s where, everything was heavy cream and just bad for you.
Well, genetics is a lot of heart disease. It's genetics.
Oh, yeah.
But also stress. You can be healthy as an ox. You have a lot of stress. You can die.
Well, I mean, they had 7 kids, so... I mean, that might have been stressful.
I would say it was the 7 kids, 1 per heart attack almost.
What segment are we calling this?
This is why this is the best gaming podcast, because we can just roll around from grandfathers to Zelda and No Man's Sky and Vonnie playing too much Zelda. We can just talk about anything.
Yep.